Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1252, and today's date is April 11th, 2017, and the title of the episode is Patterns Are Holding, the Economy is Rolling Over, and the Fed Knows It. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Well, we're seeing a lot of fluctuation in the market. We're seeing gold is being pushed up. We see the market coming down, moving up, and we're seeing a lot of chaos at this time. We're seeing a lot of the other countries out there, and there are things happening right now that are absolutely crazy. And we have to remember, everything is intertwined at this time, and the economy is not separate and apart from world events. It's all together. And we're starting to see that inflation is starting to hit. We're starting to see the economies break down, and things are rapidly changing. Out in the UK, well, retail sales, they fell most since 2011. And consumers right now, they're starting to feel the squeeze from faster inflation. Now, retail sales, they dropped by 0.7% earlier this year. And what we're seeing right now is that this is continually increasing, where things are declining and inflation is moving up. In April, what we're seeing is food sales, they declined by 0.2%, their first decline since the period through August. Prices are rising faster than wages in the UK, and shoppers are having a very difficult time. This is going to start to happen around the world, and we're going to see that inflation is really going to take hold, and it's really going to push everything where, I should say, the value of the currency is going to drop, and prices of goods are going to feel like they're going through the roof. It's going to start out slow. People aren't going to really recognize it in the beginning, but as time goes on, things are going to rapidly change. We see the labor market right now. Well, the rate of hiring right now, well, it has dropped. It's the biggest drop in 4 years. The BLS reported that in February, the number of Americans hired dropped to 5.3 million, sliding 110,000, or the biggest monthly drop since April. And we see right now that in February, that hiring over the past year, it declined by 3.6% relative to last year. This was the biggest decline in the annual rate of hiring in over 4 years. And we looked at this before, and we compared hiring versus payroll. And the last time we saw this was back in 2008, where all of a sudden we had a slowdown in hiring, and things started to roll over. And this happened back in 2007 going into 2008. We are now seeing it. Last time we looked at this, we saw it happening where we reached the peak, things started to move over, and it's starting to roll over right now, and we are declining rapidly. So the slowdown in hiring, the payroll, which is also declining, is all happening at the same time. And as this happens, the economy is going to implode. And this is exactly what we're seeing. And this is going to have a ripple effect in many other parts of the economy, because we're already seeing retail stores completely closing. Look at H.H. Gregg, completely closed down. Look at JCPenney. Look at Target. Look at Payless and many of the other stores. It's all contracting. People are losing jobs right now, which means things are rapidly changing. We know that the pension problem is a huge problem. And several, as we know, large public pensions around the country, they are in serious trouble. And after several years of paying out more than taking in, they're not going to be able to make it. Now, let's look what happens if by some small chance today's market gets exposed as a massive bubble and it all comes crashing down like in 2008. So what would happen if all of a sudden we have this huge correction? Well, it would force the funds to liquidate over $1.5 billion in assets in 2018 alone. And what will happen then is that these funds, they would run out of currency to pay the individuals. And as time went on, within 4 years or less, these funds would have no currency to pay out whatsoever. And it would be completely imploding on itself. And this is happening in many different states, many different areas, and it's going to continually happen because it's just one gigantic Ponzi scheme. And if you really look at this, we have problems all over the place. We have a retail contraction problem. We have a GDP problem. I mean, there forecasting this GDP barely over 0%. We have a major problem with corporate defaults, with bankruptcies, with loan creation. The stock market, well, that's ready to correct itself. It's ready to come down. So what we're looking at right now is a disaster in the making. And if we look at the stock market, we can see that the stock market has hit all-time high. And there's a common saying that is used with the stock market. Stocks go up the stairs and then out the window. Well, for 3 months, stocks have climbed the stairs. Strange. 3 months ago, around that time period, there was the election. A little bit over 3 months, I should say. And that's when Trump was elected, and all of a sudden we saw this boom to the stock market. It's been climbing the stairs ever since. And now they've reached the window and are sitting on the edge. And the entire market rally since the election has been based on assumption that Trump administration would be able to implement massive tax and healthcare reforms. This is not going to happen. The deep state, the central bankers, they're not going to let it happen. And none of these are going to happen anytime soon, or maybe at all. And we know he's been talking about jobs, bringing them back, and building manufacturing. This is not going to happen in this economy. It just can't. The system needs to be completely dropped and brought back online. And this is what we see happening right now. And the market is just beginning to wake up to this. When it finally gets it, we're going to see a sharp and violent correction unfold. The Fed already knows this. They already know that this is going to happen. Remember, they've been funding all of this. They push buttons, and guess what? They have their own trading desk. They're pumping free money into the banks. The banks are pumping that money into the market. The Fed is injecting the market on its own directly. They already know that this system is getting ready to roll over. This is why, in the minutes, Janet Yellen said that the stimulative monetary policy is ending. She says the new focus will be on maintaining recent economic gains. There are no recent economic gains. What she's really talking about is keeping this system up. What she's saying is that whatever the economy is doing now, that's what it's going to be doing. And she knows, along with all the other central bankers, they know if they're not pumping this system up and keeping it on life support, it comes crashing down. And we can see that it is coming to an end because they know that it's ready to roll over. They know they will not be able to stop it. And this is why they're taking their hands off of it, stepping back, because they want it to crash right now. They're signaling with their interest rate hike, with saying that we're not going to be pumping the funds into the stock market anymore. They're going to let the economy ride the way it is. And the economy can't ride the way it is. There's no jobs. Retail is imploding on itself. It has nothing to do with online. It has nothing to do with bad weather. GDP is a disaster. We don't produce anything. The car manufacturers, they're going to go down in flames. They've been channel stuffing the lots. No one has the funds. The subprime people, they're tapped out. This is why they're reworking the credit to drop things off your credit report to bring people back into the credit arena. It's done. They know it. This is why you need to get prepared. They're setting this all up. And of course, they're going to be pointing the finger someplace else. They don't want to take the blame for all of this. So get prepared, get ready, because this system, they're getting ready to bring it down, and it's going to come down hard, and everyone needs to be ready for what is coming. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.